And this is...
Welcome to Our Town, a 30-minute podcast brought to you by Best Bark Communications, a small but fierce client-centered marketing company powered by decades of experience and well-established business networks.
Hi, it's Andy Ockershausen, and this is Our Town. We're speaking with one of the great bona fide local characters of all time, a man I have known intimately for over 75 years, Henry. This goes back to the playgrounds, Sherwood for you and Rosedale for me in Northeast Washington, D.C. Henry Sachs, who most of the guys we grew up with called you Dave Sachs. How did this happen?
Middle name.
What middle name, Henry?
David.
Oh,
Nah.
I never knew that. Why are we all calling you Dave?
Damn if I know. I never figured it out either.
Why'd you say something, Henry? What did they say when you went in the Army? Henry or Dave?
I said, wake up.
Henry grew up, as I did, in Washington, D.C. We in the playgrounds because that was our lives, and the boys' club, Southeast Boys Club, Henry. You remember? Don't fall out of the chair, please.
No.
Okay.
Charlie Reynolds.
Oh, absolutely. We had a wonderful place that we both worked on called 8th Street Northeast, which is now a big industrial and restaurant place, Henry. Have you been down 8th Street recently?
No, but Cully was telling me, he said he's going to pick me up, we're going to ride. I want to see my old house on K Street.
Well, you can see it all.
Pop paid $2,800 for it. They're going for $1.5 million now.
Too bad you don't live there. But Henry worked, I don't know whether he worked or hustled at a pool room on 8th Street. I was working there at a print shop that was folding the Kiplinger letter. I was reading that when I was in high school. I didn't know what Kiplinger was, but I read the letter every Saturday night before people got it on Monday. And Henry, I found out more than you did at the pool room.
Well, the pool room was a way of life then, Andy. You know what I mean? In fact, the main thing about Gus's pool room down 9th and 8th Street Northeast, that the greatest hamburger the planet has ever had. 15 cents. It had your big piece of hamburger meat and all that stuff and coleslaw on it. And
what would you do on a hamburger in a
you get some
room?
lunch, man. You know, you got to eat something at a little cafe up front.
So you could.
And the guy, Sam, that runner, we used to call him Chew Tobacco Sam. He chewed tobacco, and when you order a hamburger, give me a hamburger with everything, no tobacco juice. You know, he's spitting all the time.
Henry, that's one block from Cavacas.
One block, the most famous place that ever was. It was maybe the greatest nightclub in the history of Washington. I want to tell you how strong it was. When the New York Yankees won the World Championship, it was either 54 or 55. I got the picture home on my wall. The big guys came down there to celebrate. Mickey Mantle, Whitey Ford, Yogi Berra, they were all at the table. And they came down there.
To Cavacas?
Yes, it was a hot place, Andy. Pete Janaris was the biggest bookmaker in Washington. He used to own Rocky Marciano. And the only way Marciano could get a shot at the title, which he kept for 49 fights, for Pete to get rid of him. So Al Wild, the big guy in the fight racket, come down from New York. He had all them Dunskies with him with their hands and the furry coats with the pockets with the pointy shoes. And they come down there that night to sign him over to Al Wild. And, man, I went and got Savvy Azzarelli over at the pool room, we all sitting at the table, got a picture of that home, too.
I saw that picture. How about the one you had of Joe DiMaggio?
Joe DiMaggio.
This is Northeast Washington in Our Town.
Yeah, Pete Janaris knew everybody. They didn't bet with him, and I don't want to start all that crap like what they did to Pete Rose. Just good friends with him. Pete helped all the nuns everywhere. He was just a good-hearted guy. Made a lot of money. And I knew DiMaggio loved my crabs. So when he got traded...
we got to tell that crab story about your famous crab recipe, but go ahead.
He went to, they traded him to Oakland, and he was a batting instructor out there. So he was coming there, and Pete says, Henry, he called me up and said, Joe wants some of your crabs while he's in town. I said, man, that sounds great. So... in the meantime, they had lost Club Cavacas. The IRS, I was in there. They shut them down. They owed $341,000 back taxes. Place was packed every night. Johnny, my best friend, one of the brothers, he was in the Army. The other brother, Billy, he was gambling. And the other brother, George, he rat-holed his money. But anyway, I picked up Joe DiMaggio at the stadium. And they bought a dumpy place down at 9th and F Northwest, okay, called the B&B. It was just a real one-eye joint, a bar. So my wife, she was from Jersey. She begged me could she go because DiMaggio was always a hero. I took her, and I said, what you don't do, you don't dare mention Marilyn Monroe to Joe. I mean, he loved her so much he goes crazy. You can't even mention her name.
Uh-oh. That was the wrong thing to say, Henry.
I says, all right. So DiMaggio come down to Andy. He must have ate a dozen and a half crabs and never took that suit and tie off. And he said, can we take a walk? I said, yes, a true story. And we walked out of that place, walking down the street, 2 doors down. We just looking in the window. He said, what the hell is this? Pictures of naked women, guys naked with all their artillery hanging down there. Jesus, I never seen like this in my life. And we went in there, and then Joe said, let's get that. I don't want to be seen in here. I said, me either. He said, I'm from San Francisco. We ain't got nothing like this. We go back in there, and this is my claim to fame. Johnny Kavaca said, just today, they've been waiting to open the Supreme Court, made it legal to sell that stuff, them magazines and all that kind of stuff. I was with Joe DiMaggio when I saw my first pornography show.
Did you recognize it?
No, I've never been in there before. I never went back before I forget it.
Did Joe go back?
No, he
I
said...
thought for sure you were going to say Sonia. The first thing she said to him is, how's Marilyn?
No, I know. I had her trained for that. But...
Didn't you say your wife, as I remember her, looked like Ava Gardner?
Exactly.
Looked like Earl Stanley Gardner to me.
When she died, and she couldn't quit smoking and drinking that wine, when she died, she looked more like Barbara Mikulski.
She was our Barbara.
But she was a good woman.
She was a wonderful woman, Henry. My God. You have three wonderful children, and they take good care of you now.
Yeah.
I think it's shame that those kids don't have the benefit that we had of a Southeast Boys Club. You know, they had something out in Silver Spring, out in the PG County, but nothing was great as the Southeast Boys Club. And all the things that we did. We both went to Eastern High School. Yeah. She'll live in infamy now. It's a big stadium there now, Henry.
Get out of here.
Yeah, beautiful
The school
stadium.
ain't there no more?
They put lights on it. No. Out in back of the school, they rebuilt the football stadium.
You know, one of my fondest memories there, now you remember who one of the gym coaches was. One of the most famous athletes that ever lived. Chief Guyan.
Oh, the chief.
He played with the famous Carlisle Indians in Pennsylvania.
With Jim Thorpe.
He played with Jim Thorpe. His Charlie Guyan was his cousin, was considered one of the greatest athletes ever lived. And the chief had an old Model T Ford with the rumble seat in it. He just took a liking to me. He always had that bow tie on. He said, come on, let's take a ride. I never forget, he was so pigeon-toed. And we got in that car, and he drove down McGuire's Tavern on Pennsylvania Avenue, Southeast.
Yes.
As soon as he walked in the door, the guy put 6 draft beers up there. And I reached for one, I thought he was going to break my arm. Nah. All right, Chief, I'll watch you drink them. We drank them down, and we went back. And another story I got with him. Remember Tommy
Chief
Wing?
had an old dog he used to take.
Yes.
Too.
Remember Tommy Wingo?
He always wanted a beer and RWL wine.
He just drank that beer when I went down there with him to McGuire's Tavern.
We knew some characters, right, Henry?
And then,
Still do.
yes, and remember Tommy Wingo?
Certainly.
Great guy. We went to school with, good athlete. And him and I like go to racetrack. Well, we'd have maybe $1.50 between us. So I don't want too many kids to hear this, but if you take a soap chip, piece of soap, put it up on the arm, leave it up there for about 15 minutes, it takes your temperature up. So they had a nurse in the infirmary in Easton. I went in there, we went in there, she checked the temperature, let us go, and we hitchhiked out to the track. And they had a little...
Did you get out of school?
Yeah, we skipped school. And they had some stands out there. And, it was free. And I'll never forget the guy out there booking. He didn't have no hair. He said, get him in early with Curly. And you could bet a quarter with him. And we tried to win enough, make enough money, go inside
At
the
track.
track.
You could bet a quarter?
Bet outside.
Oh, Henry.
Illegal, but you know it. And but anyway, everything was good. It was such a good
town,
life.
Henry. My God, we love it. And then we were talking about Chief Cullinane, Maurice Cullinane, our dear friend, the chief of police. But we know so many characters. We talked about Sidney Ho. The poor guy had an accident. He was one of the great racers of all time, right? And he had an accident and became a derelict.
Sidney Ho and 3 guys named Franny. Franny Toombs, Franny Burke, Franny Thibodeau. All used to hang in Sam's pool room down the street. They were coming back from North Beach.
Our place.
Real bad curve. They missed it, and they rolled over. And Sidney's the only one that really got hurt. He was the handsomest guy in our school.
A movie star.
He had track records that they'll probably still haven't broken. And he was going after that. And his life after that, he come to the bars.
He was derelict.
He smoked them 2 for nickel cigars. And I never turned him down. He'd get him a 10-cent draft beer. He'd inhale the cigar and chuck a lug the beer. And he'd wobble out. And then he used to sell eggs. Yeah, he turned into a bum. And he had a little basket. He'd walk in different places selling eggs. And it was pitiful, but it was a hell of a guy, you know.
Well, Henry, now you got a great story that I want to hear it. How in the world did you leave our town to work for the gas company? I got to hear that whole story. We're going to take a break here first, Henry. When we come back, I want you to talk about the gas company.
All right.
What happened to you?
This is fun, man.
Our Town with Andy Ockershausen.
Are you retired or soon will be? Is your will up to date? Don't want to leave a mess for your family to clean up. I'm attorney Mike Collins, the guy who sends you those invitations to my estate planning seminar. I'll teach you how to save taxes, avoid probate, protect your heirs from lawsuits, bankruptcy, even the divorce court. Keep your money and your family with our innovative Reservoir Trust. Watch the mail for your invitation. Tuition's free when you register online at MikeCollins.com. That's MikeCollins.com.
You're listening to Our Town with Andy Ockershausen.
We're back here on Shipwreck Henry Day, I call it, because, well, wait a minute. Before that, I want you to find out about your career with the gas company. How did that happen?
When I first got out of high school, you know, we got them summertime jobs, jumping for the post office.
Right.
Everybody did that. Post office trucks, and you got like 50 cents an hour, and you jump packages off anyway.
Post office, right.
My first legal job, I got a job with the government and at the Internal Revenue Service. $4,400 a year.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah. I wasn't long for that. So then a bunch of my buddies that were a little older than me, they got out of high school, else they didn't go to school, hanging in the pool room. They were down at the unemployment office, and this guy come in there and said, we got some work. We're going to go all over the country putting in natural gas. First big city we're going to do is Washington. And you guys will, after you've been with this company a few years, working all over, you'll be able to buy that farm. He was old. His name was Hoot Adams. He was an old country boy. So they got the job.
Converting from other kind of gas.
Manufactured. Used to have them big holders.
Yeah.
And got rid of them.
And then they went to natural gas.
And had to go in every house, everything, you know, change all the equipment. So they went to a little job up in uptown New York, upstate New York, a little small town. When they come back, they said they loved it. Man, making good money, making $1 an hour. Now they're going to go to $1.27. I'd have to start at $1 an hour. So I said, man, I got to get into that. I went down there and signed up. And away I went. We went to Binghamton and Endicott and Johnson City, 3 triple cities in New York. And I'll never forget, that's the first time I ever saw one of them jukeboxes where you had the picture on it. And we worked all over. And there was a lot of Russian and Polish people up there.
You traveled the country, didn't you?
Oh, my God, from Maine to Spain. Even 1 year in Canada. And they had a Russian wedding. And they invited all of us. The thing lasted 2 weeks. They go to work. They come back that night. They go back, start drinking and dancing and everything again. It's wonderful to see how the different parts.
Yeah, different cultures.
Like my father, he come from the Ukraine. I say, Pop, you ever want to go back for a visit? He said, you crazy? You taste the water over here, you don't go nowhere. And his favorite saying was, the boats come over here every day full, they go back empty. There must be something in this wonderful country. And that's the way I grew up.
Well, tell us about one of the famous ladies you got close to in New Jersey.
I was one of the first guys they hired. So, like, we worked in Brooklyn in 1951. We had 6,000 guys working. So they made me a crew foreman. I didn't want to take it. I was one of the youngest guys on the job. They said, you got to take it. So I'd give the guys their work. They'd come out at lunchtime. And we hired a lot of guys in Brooklyn. Now we're working over in Jersey. And whenever they finished their work, we should get paid 10 hours a day. I'd let them go anywhere they wanted. Go to a racetrack, wherever they wanted. I'd sign them out at night. And it was one of the guys named Mike Quinn. He was a great guy. He was from Staten Island. But he stayed drunk. His buddy would bring him in the morning. He's drunk. I said, sleep it off, Mike. He'd sleep in the car, and then he'd wake up and go do his work. He said, Hen, you got to go in this house. I said, what's it? Look at the name on the ticket. Francis Albert Sinatra. I said, oh, my God. I said, God.
The Francis Albert Sinatra.
Yeah. Well, no, this is the father and the mother.
Right, I understand.
Now, they were originally from from Hoboken, and he was a fire chief in Weehawken, the next town, the father. The father was not friendly at all. I only met him twice. He used to come out with the Italian undershirt on, smoking them little stinkers, them little cigars, that you can't break them with a hammer. But she was a doll baby. Her name was Natalie. She was really Irish. A little short thing. She said, well, they were just here. She only had one gas hot water heater in there. I said, I got to inspect the job. Okay, come on in. I'll never forget it. The old people used to wear them little sweaters with the buttons down. She had a hole in both sleeves.
Sinatra's mother?
Yeah. Hey, you got something comfortable, you wear it. I loved her. And she could not have been any nicer. And I started going by and seeing her all the time. I was just going with Sonia at the time. Introduced them. Sonia would take us shopping. She told me about a place in Hoboken called the Clam Broth House.
Oh, you've been promoting that place for years.
To this day, it's never been another place. It was huge, right on the waterfront. You're in there, you hear it. Ooh. Boats right across. You can go take a ferry right across to Manhattan. And one day I was over there, and she had I wish I'd have brought it. It was down in the basement. She had this little envelope there. She said, look what I got from my son yesterday. She opened it up. She was very, very religious, and he wasn't too much. One of her best friends was Cardinal Cushing from New England. Frank sent her this religious brooch. She said, I bet he paid $5,000 for it. It was unbelievable. And she had just thrown that thing away. I said, what are you going to do with that envelope? She said, give it to you. And everywhere there was a factory up there, they always had a guy that was taking on something on it. In Jersey, they had a saying, what Jersey makes, the world takes. That little state had so much industry in it. And then down South Jersey, the greatest farm country. I went in this one place to just check. I didn't nothing to do all day. I give them their work. I walk around there. And the guy come up to me. He was in charge of the place. His name was Frankie Carroll. And I said, what are you making here? It's huge. Women's smocks. You come home from church on Sunday, you don't want to change your clothes, you put the little smock on, and you do your cooking and everything. Oh, my God. So he said they sell $15, $20 on sale. I said, man, I'd like to get some of them and sell them. Come on. He started selling to me for 50 cents a piece. I was getting crates of them. And guess who was my greatest salesman? Nick Miller. And Sonia was working for Curtis Martin Aircraft then. She said, you can't sell nothing there. But, oh, my God, could I sell them things? I said, never mind. I'm going to take some of them.
What are you selling them for? You buying them for 50 cents?
$1.50. And then,
so you're making a lot of money.
And even the job, even when I had a layoff on the job, we'd work 8 or 9 months a year, and I'd come home. Pop says, why is that Railway Express truck keep pulling up in front of this house with them boxes? Pop, don't worry about it. It's legal. Everything's fine.
And then how did you get reconnected to town? Because you were a stranger for a long time.
I was out of town 20 years on that job. come home a couple of months a year. This is the best part of the story. Johnny Kavakis, who we talked about before, everybody loved Johnny. Dead broke when they shut the club down. When the father died, they were millionaires. They had 10 or 12 apartment houses. But Johnny was wonderful. I taught him how to cut a card game. I started a card game in his house. And then during Redskins season, you know how hard them tickets, even back then, were to get. Johnny would take in 10, 15 guys a week. He put the miniatures of whiskey in his pocket. He'd give the guy on the gate some whiskey and everything. And Tommy Sullivan, who was a lieutenant of the police department, number 5 in Southeast, he worked on the lot. And one of my all-time friends, Pete Catucci, he worked on the parking lot. So I was working between the three of them. We was getting guys in. Every week I was something different. One week, no lie, I went in as a doctor. Had that little black pouch. The guy said, wait. I said, I got somebody had to call me. I went in. One day, I'm standing out there waiting to go in that stadium, and I hear this loud voice, Henry! What the hell is that? Come here! And I looked, it was him. And I said, God, can't be
pointing
Andy.
at me.
He got a 3-piece suit on. That can't be Andy when I left town. No way. Andy, what are you doing? Come on, I got a ticket for you. You had a silver ticket. I said, man, I don't want no ticket to get in this place. Are you crazy? I said, you ruined my reputation. And the guy with him says, he ain't going to get in this place without a ticket. Andy said, you want to bet that he'll get in here? Andy bet him $5. Now, you know, Andy don't think no more of $5. He does the right eye. He bet this guy $5 that I would get in that stadium. And for years, I said, tell me where you're sitting. He wrote down where their seats were. I was about 3 minutes after the kickoff. I reached over and tapped him on the shoulder. Give me my $5! And he beat the guy that $5. Years later, I found out who he was with. You know who it was? Edward Bennett Williams and Margot Jurgensen. And he was with the owner of the stadium, and he bet him $5 that I wouldn't get in there. And
He got in.
Oh, yeah.
Well, how did this lead to your career as a restaurateur, or as they say, a guy that ran a restaurant?
Let's get back to the beginning. I'm so proud of this guy. Nobody
It's not about me, though,
Wait
Henry.
a minute. Nobody in my life has been better to me than this guy. We both went down the same path, and he went this way, I went there. He became as big as you can possibly get in what he did. Now, I took the path. I am probably the world's most successful failure, but I've loved every minute of it, okay? I'm in the twilight of a very mediocre career. I came back. Tommy Curo heard I was in town. And, you know, when I left town, he was laying brick during the day and driving a cab at night, trash poor. I heard now he was a manager of a Lincoln Mercury dealership.
In Laurel, right?
Yeah, Henry, you got to sell cars. I said, man, I ain't never sold nothing in my life. He says, you're full of crap. You've been selling all your life. Selling what? He said, what do you think you do when you go in a pool room? You're selling a game. You know, you make a game with a guy, that's selling. So he said, you're going to start selling cars. He said, the people that own my company they're getting ready to own a Volkswagen dealership. I told him where I lived, out there by you, Free State. He said, I'm going to get you a job there. He called and he got me a job there. I hated selling cars. I didn't like dealing with the public. But then I wound up wholesaling cars. But, and then I got out of wholesaling cars. I got tired. Before I got into wholesaling, John Ponchak owned, I met him through his son played
Electronics
ball
play.
with me. Yeah, his son played ball with me, with my son in the boys club. And him and Skip McMahon wanted to open up a restaurant. They put up the money, and I was going to run it. And once
you were
we
gonna
got it
name
open,
too.
huh?
You were going to name it, too.
Yeah,
They
Shipwreck.
all got into that name.
Shipwreck Henry's. Every day but Monday, I had people staying in line to get in there. That's how good the food was. And he'd send all these big shots from the media that come in. And that one lady, you remember that story? What was her name? She was mean at first, but she was a big shot and all that. You send her down with some people, and there's people waiting in line to get in. And she says, she's calling me. She said, Andy sent us down here. We don't want to wait in line. I said, how am I going to do this? You want to come around the back through the alley? And she got hot. So she waited in line, and then she got in there. And when she got through, she said, I want to apologize. That's the best seafood I've eaten in my life. She was really nice after that. She started going down there. You knew her real well. I cannot forget her name.
Henry was called Shipwreck Henry. You got to remember that, no, it wasn't Nella Main. Janie thought it might be Nella Main.
No,
it was somebody. I'll think of who it was. I know who he's talking about. No, she wasn't into business. She was in advertising. But Henry, so Shipwreck Henry's was a successful venture.
Yeah, we found out in one day we didn't have they sold the place. Old man Al Posnick, who was the original owner, he used to come in every night with his bow tie and his suit on. I don't want nothing free. I'll pay for everything I get, but please, I want to hang in here. I can't believe how good it's doing. And
it was doing super.
Yeah, he said, have other people in here that didn't do nothing and all that. And Willie saw it in the paper that you got one day to get out of there. Willie rented this big tractor trailer, and we'd taken all that stuff out of there. We had to get out that night.
What happened was they had a contract with the lease on the building, and it was a multiple year lease with a 90-day cancellation clause. And they pulled the plug on him. Said, we want this property back. We're tearing this building down. They built a high rise there. It was Parcher's before that, Henry.
Right?
That's the name of it, Parcher's?
No, the most famous French restaurant in Washington.
It wasn't Parcher's.
Went out.
That was how.
Maybe that was it. When the old man come in there, he was so happy to see it doing good again. And it was unbelievable. We had a party, and I had bought some of this $high whiskey and all. I said, hell, it's got to go tonight. People were waiting in line just to get on the sidewalk. And then they had I had outdoor seating, and like all my kids worked in the summer off school.
I know that.
Tammy was 11 years old.
My son worked there too.
Give out all the stuff, And I could seat 44 people out front. People would come out there just to watch the people getting in and out of the cars with the girls. And then better than that, Slug Watucky, what a great guy. He played 6 years for the Redskins. Everybody loved Slug. He lived around the corner from me. He helped us in our boys club and everything. He said, Henry, I'm going to come down one night a week because I was working 14 hours a day. I'm going to replace you, let you go home. All right. So he got a bunch of the Redskins coming down there. And I had a room upstairs. It was a huge place. It seated 180 people. So Slug said, they want the Touchdown Club of Washington wants to know if we can rent your place to have our meetings once a month. I said, hell yeah, you ain't got to rent it. Come on up here.
Henry began giving it away.
Pay for your beer and everything. Oh, my God, what a crowd we had in there that night. And I'll never forget.
Henry,
in fact,
we're going to take a break here because I'm going to hold the rest of those stories. But the restaurant folded, I know that, and it was a big success. It was a successful failure, like you always said.
yeah.
He's talking about, I brought Blackie Organ down there, and Blackie found out that Henry sent his laundry out. Blackie said, no, you do the laundry yourself.
When you own $15 a month, he said.
That's right. We'll be right back with our town with some more Henry Sachs stories.
Hi, Tony Sybil here to tell everybody about our wonderful restaurants at Washington Harbor. Tony and Joe's, the best seafood in the city. Nick's Riverside Grill, wonderful chops and steaks, wonderful views of the Kennedy Center, Roosevelt Island, Roslyn skyline, spectacular. 2 bars outside right on the water. Fabulous food. For dinner reservations, call 202-944-4545. It's really a great experience. We'll see you down at Tony and Joe's or Nick's Riverside Grill.
Our Town, brought to you by Best Bart Communications.
This is Andy O, and this is Our Town, and we're talking to Henry Sachs, one of the great characters of all time, and he had a story about Frank Sinatra's mother he wanted to finish. So finish it up fast, Henry. We don't have all night.
Okay, I got so close with her, and she told me about the clam broth house, which I'll never forget. Had about 8 huge rooms for carriage trade, and they had a men's bar only in the front, sawdust on the floor, and they had like big coffee urns. You get them little, the clams with the little tails on them. I don't want to give you the nickname. But 40 cents for a big plate of them, and you help yourself to the broth, throw the shells on the floor. And She grew up with the Cervantes that owned that place. So I told you about the smocks. I had that deal with the guy in the factory. So I got me a box with a dozen of them in there. High class. I knocked on her door one day. This is for you. Oh, my God, they're beautiful. Oh, let me pay you for them. Oh, my God. No. I'll get them for nothing. Don't worry about it. I gave her them, and she told me real quick the story how she got that beautiful, beautiful house up at Fort Lee. The minute you come out of the Lincoln Tunnel on the Jersey side, you look and you can see their beautiful house. They were living in Hoboken. Frank started making the big money there, and he said, come on, Pop, let's take a little ride. Took him up to here. This is in Fort Lee, New Jersey. And he walks up, what are you doing here? His father wasn't real friendly, like I said before. And he knocked, don't worry about it, knocked on the door. The guy opened the door. Oh, yeah, hello, you Mr. Come in. Pop, look around. He looked around and said, you like this house? Yeah, it's a nice house. Do you like the house? Yeah, it's nice. He said, we'll take it. 50,000 them days. Had the cash. He paid the guy with cash money. That's what the mama told me. That story, how they got that house. Okay.
All right, Henry. That was a great story, but that's not as great as when we had the Super Bowl, soccer ball here in Washington, 1980, and I couldn't go to the ball, but we were having a reception at the stadium, and I invited you and some of your cohorts to attend this reception about the Super Bowl. It was a soccer ball. Pele was making his appearance in Washington, and you met George Bush, who was running for president of the United States.
He was with Kissinger. They were there together.
No.
Yes, he was. Henry Kissinger was with. He was there. I got the picture home.
Well, you became a pen pal of George Bush, right?
Yeah, man. He sent me tickets to all the inaugurations and everything. I told him I'm writing a song about Reagan. He said, sing it to me. I got a picture of me singing to him up there, and he's drinking a beer and going like this with his fingers, George Bush. and they had a mountain of oysters and clam, remember, on the ice?
Oh, yeah.
Bernie was with me, your brother. Oh,
he loved it.
Don't go near them people, man. They'll lock you up. Don't go near that man. I said, I want to go talk to that man. I want to go talk to Bush. You ain't with me. Don't go over there. And everything was all right after that.
Then it became good friends.
Yeah.
Well, there's a famous story, and I know it because I've seen it for real, that you got an idea that you would like to have the Pope to come for crabs sometime. So what'd you do?
Nobody, I'm going to brag a little bit, ever cooked crabs like me. I used to have parties in my yard. He never missed. They never missed.
How about Brendan? He used to entertain.
70, 80 people in there. I enjoyed it. That's when I was getting crabs $12 a bushel, but them days are gone. And, I mean, you wouldn't believe who would come to that thing. And this guy, everybody came there. One time, the first Tonight Show, Jerry Lester.
Yeah.
He was there. And,
well, he was a comedian. He was up
yes.
at the core.
He had Dagmar with him on the first
on the
Tonight
show.
Show before Steve Allen and all
that was
them.
The first Tonight Show.
Yeah, and you couldn't believe who came to this thing. And one year it was raining some. I said, "Oh, geez, I done ordered 6 bushels of crabs. What am I going to do?" And I got all that beer and everything. So the kids in the neighborhood, they started putting canopies up and everything. Everybody was calling me. I don't know if I ever told you this story. Everybody's calling me, Henry, we're going to eat crabs today? Yeah, fine. Come on. Okay. His brother, Harry, called me. Harry was 97 years old then. Yeah, Harry, we're going to have... No, hold on. Is there going to be any girls there without somebody? They don't have an escort. 97 years old. He want to know if there's going to be any young girl. His older brother. I swear to God, that's a true story. He want to know if there ain't girls
But he
there.
wasn't 97, Henry.
Yes, he was. How old was he?
Probably 67 or
He was
something.
101 when he died.
I know, but it was way before that. But how about the story with the Pope? I got the letter.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everybody wanted to know. You got it by us, so I'm going to write to him. I invited him. I invited Gorbachev.
Never mind Gorbachev. Tell me about the Pope.
I invited the Pope, and somebody in the Vatican sent me a letter. That's very nice
Secretary of the Holy See.
Yeah.
You know what that is, Henry? That's big time, bro.
Big time.
Said the Holy Father appreciates the invitation, but he's going to be busy and he can't sure he can make it on his next trip.
That's right.
But thank you for the invitation. His father was Guido Panducci.
Yeah.
What was his name? That was Joe. Guido Sarducci. That's it. He probably thought he was the Pope. But Henry, before you leave here, which will be soon, I hope, can you entertain us with one of your great favorite songs? Henry has been a songwriter for most of his adult life, and I've heard it all for the last 70 years. However,
where did you get that case?
What do you think that case?
Oh, man, let me tell you. I've had this thing, I guess, 70 years. Hey, gee, Dad, it's a Martin. For me, Dad? Anyway, this came
Dad,
along with it. This thing has been in Yale, it's been in jail, it's been everywhere. So this bar where I hang out right now over there by me in PG County, the Hideaway, a real one-eye joint. You know, if a guy walked in there with a three-piece suit and a briefcase, they'd call the police on him, get him out of there. But my kind of place. So I went in there one day. Oh, no, I needed some strings for this. And there's a guitar place down there in Waldorf. I went down there and told the guy what I needed and all. And I'm looking around and said, man, look at them nice ukulele cases. So I bought a brand new one for $40. So I was proud of it and everything. And that night I went by the Hideaway. I was going to sing some of my songs. As soon as I got in the door, this buddy of mine, Dennis Cheseldine, Dennis said he's drinking shots and beers. Henry, what the hell is that? I said, I got a new case. A new case? Are you? You? Yeah. Get the hell out of here. We don't want you in here. It's going up in, he said, going up Montgomery County and start hanging out up there. All right, I'll see you later. I got in my car, went home, got the new one, threw it in the trash, and I got back where I belong in this one. And that's a true story.
Are you still in the race? Did you think about that during the Olympics?
What's that?
That you have that race and you win it every year?
3 years in a row, I won the Hideaway Cup.
How far a race is it, Henry?
5 yards. Hey, when I was a young kid, nobody
dash?
could beat me 50 yards. I could move. I could get out the gate. I've raced David Todd. He ain't stopped complaining yet. I wasn't ready. I was going to hear that, David. Mitchell, guy, all of them at least 30 years younger than me.
You beat all the 55
all
yards?
3 of them. And the next, Joey, my son Joey, he's a warrior. Dad, please don't do that. You're too old. Please, Joey, leave me alone. Is a doctor there? I said, ain't no doctor there. I'm all right. So they retired the Hideaway Cup. I won it 3 years in a row.
They kept it over there, don't they?
Yeah, I can get out the gate now.
The Hideaway Cup.
Oh, let me tell you, talking about that.
Henry, let's get to the ukulele.
Dino wants to hang this up in the Hideaway. Dino's got this artist that paints pictures, and Dino gives them to me. I said, paint one of the Last Supper and have my crabs on the table. So we're working on that. All right.
Do you think the Last Supper would have eaten crabs?
Yeah, hell yeah. And my seasoning on them.
All right. Some of your more famous songs are...
I tell you right now, I'll be honest about it. Everything I write, I make fun of people, but I do it with a smile on my face and a smile in my heart. I don't try to hurt nobody, and people don't get mad at me. And I make fun of everybody. My most famous song, I can't sing it here. I buy a lot of repos. I wholesale used cars. And I got to thinking about, I wrote a song called Getting Ready for the Repo Man. Oh, my God. The brothers love it. Man, my man, how you know all that? I said, anyway. So I'm going to sing Janice's favorite song. She got the roughest body on the beach. And a buddy of mine, he just died. He owned a place down at Ocean City of 16th Street. And I went down there one time, was singing some of my songs, and the guy that was an interim coach for the Saints was there. He's from Maryland. Oh, man, he told him, he said, bring him down on me on the Super Bowl. They had a Super Bowl in New Orleans that year. Anyway, he wanted me to come down there every week and play this. The girls would be coming from all over the country to get in the contest. At the end of the year, we'd have a winner. She's got bunions on her toes and cellulite that shows. She's got the roughest body on the beach. No matter how much time she spends in the mirror, she always looks the same. In her extra large bikini, no men want to get near her. Her glands have all broke down, ain't that a shame? When she walks by, the boys all close their eyes, and no one tries to reach. She's got the roughest body on the beach. When she goes near the water, all the kids report her, and the lifeguard starts to shout, "Get back on the shore if you don't wanna drown." When she dives in, the tide goes out. There's hair growing wild 'neath her arms and on her chest. Her face won't tan, it's always red. She's only one size from her shoulders to her thighs. She's underclothed and overfed. She's got no way of knowing if her underwear is showing. You can't tell her ankles from her knees. She might be good in bed, but no man will ever know. She's got the roughest body on the beach. The sun's the only one to touch her goodies. There's enough of her to go around. Everything shows when she touches her toes. When she dives in, the boats go up and down. She leaves the local bars alone. She only takes the morning paper home. When she stumbles through the sand, the Richter scale won't reach. She's got the roughest body on the beach. Baby, I'm coming home with pizza.
Henry, this has been a wonderful, wonderful time with Henry Sachs, a real Washington institution. And Henry, I appreciate it. You're a good man. We've been friends a long time, Henry. Don't forget, we're going to see you a lot of this fall.
Huh?
Huh?